Good evening, everybody. It's Fredrina with Trinity Professional Group. Christmas is next week. This year is almost over. Like, I feel like everything just flew by, and then all of a sudden, it's 2024. Like, I don't even know if we should go to sleep and wake up for New Year's Day because we might miss all of 2024 at this point. We just don't know. So, anyway, it is almost a full week since the release of my book. Right now, it's like 3 days because this is Tuesday's video. So it's like, 3-4 days since the release of my book. But anyway, I had some good sales so far. I'm really excited. I am excited to get the word out. And in honor of releasing my book, on its week anniversary, this coming Friday, December 22nd, I'm actually going live on my Instagram. So if you have Instagram, go ahead and follow me at Freddie the Trinity Pro. It's at Freddie _the_ Trinity Pro, one word, all together. And I will be going over some of the contents of the book, not really for the actual content itself, but more so for strategies to kind of get you thinking and snowballing and brainstorming for 2024, what you want to do with your business, who you want to bring into your business, and why you would want to bring them onto your team, because they need to be helping you progress and go forward. And in helping you go forward, they also need to be a part of the vision, and they can't be a part of a vision that you're not clear on. So on Friday, that live is going to be amazing. It's going to be informative. It's going to be impactful. And I really hope that you all apply it to your business, because we all need to get better. Nobody knows everything. Nobody is doing everything at top-notch quality at this moment. I mean, even Jeff Bezos, Steve Jobs, before he passed away, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, all of these people have to revamp. They have to redo. They have to go back and figure out where they lapsed in the process. They need their people to help them with lapses in the process, or figure out what teams they need to move to a different project. So we all have to kind of break down to rebuild, so to speak. So when you all read The Conscious Leader, I really want you all to be open-minded and realize that it's not an assault on who you are as a leader. It's not an assault if you have more of a boss-like mindset or boss-like mentality. But moving to leadership is going to put you in a place to grow exponentially, and then also have your people in place to grow with you, so you don't have to kind of reteach or reinvent the wheel, so to speak. When you get a mass integration of new employees, those new employees will be trained by the employees that you've already had with you and who have conformed to the vision that you have for your company, right? So Friday, December 22nd, 7 p.m., my Instagram, we will be live. Again, my Instagram handle is at Freddie _the_ Trinity Pro, one word. So for this week's topic, I actually wanted to speak about Segue. And the reason I want to speak about segueing is because we're going into a new year. And if you've been following my content around the end of November going into December, I spoke about us being able to kind of recap on what we did throughout the year, what we liked, what we didn't like, what we achieved, what we didn't achieve, and what milestones we wanted to create for 2024. That way we have something that we're looking towards and working towards right now, instead of waiting until we get there, right? You want to kind of be your own catalyst in a way to create the life that you're working for, to create the business that you're working for, or to even create an environment for your employees who are either there now or who are to come, your company culture, all of these things. You want to go through your business and kind of rewind it a bit, like give yourself a chance to dissect it and see what you did. And going into 2024, we're going to segue. If you've taken that time to dissect your company, if you've taken the time to say the things that you didn't like, say the things you did like, and then also incorporate the things that you learned throughout the year, and then 2 times that, 3 times that when you plan to go into 2024, these are the people I'm talking to when it comes to segueing within your business, right? So to break it down, my definition of segue is for you to kind of know when you've reached good enough. Like, some people are like, oh no, that's not good enough. I need to focus on it. I need to stay entrenched in it. And what happens as entrepreneurs, when we are our entire business, when we are our brand, our marketer, our emailer, our packer, our baker, our cooker, whatever we are, we're everything to our business. And sometimes we'll find ourselves focusing on the minutia, and we need to learn to leave good enough alone. We need to learn to leave well enough alone, right? We need to learn that, okay, every piece of my website may not be top tier. Every piece of my website may not be perfect compared to someone who's been in business longer, but it's good enough, right? And so now once I get my website good enough, I now segue into my products. I now segue into my product descriptions, right? And when I say segue, it is having a general idea of what direction you're heading in. So for me, if I'm heading east, right, it doesn't really matter what road I take. I just need to know that in general, I am heading east. That is my direction. That is where I'm going. Some things may change. I may deviate from the plan in some way, shape, or form, but I know where I'm going. And so when I use the analogy of a road, or when I use the analogy of going a different way or taking a different road to get to where you're going, I don't want you to think detour. And I want to differentiate that right now. When you take a detour, it is typically a stop, and it shifts your mindset from where you were initially headed. It kind of brings in negativity to your plans, right? Like, I didn't plan for this. Why is this happening? Now I have to shift and move this and do this and do that. So that's why I'm not calling it a detour. I'm calling it a segue, because you are continuing to go with that momentum that you've already created. You're continuing to move forward towards your goals, and you're just shifting your focus from being primarily on one thing and moving to a place where that was good enough for now, right? We're at a solid 80%. I don't need to spend my full 20% here when I can take that 20% and initiate it towards my next task, my next goal, my next plan that I have for my business. I'm going to use that same steam I had rolling. I'm going to add that 20% instead of starting from zero, right? We don't want to go from 0 to 100 when we can go from 20 to 100, right? That's basically what I say when I mean segue. You're just transitioning into the next phase and not stopping. You don't want to take a complete stop. You don't want to take a complete rest with your team. So in terms of involving your team when they are in a position to segue, or when they are moving on to the next task, let's say you have, I think I had an example of an advertising company. So the general direction for an advertising company is to help your clients get more clients or customers, right? That's like the general thing. So we may have our team who's for social media, we may have our team who's for commercials, and we may have our team who strictly focus on the numbers, the data. What has your target market been pulling in? What has your target market been consistently telling you? That way, when you go to market to them, you're going to keep them entrenched with your brand. So in this marketing, we may have 10 people who are dedicated to our commercials. We may have another 20 who are dedicated to our data, and another 20 or 10 who are focused on our social media presence. In any given moment, the data that you pull from one section may cause you to need to segue or even add more people to a certain team just to verify that the numbers you're getting are correct, or just to verify that you are impacting your customers like you initially intended, right? So this doesn't mean that that whole team goes away on the left side. It doesn't mean that your whole commercial team goes away because you need more people on the social media side. It doesn't mean that your whole social media team goes away when you need more people to pull in and reflect on the data. That's not what it means. It means you segue and you kind of ebb and flow with your business in a way that you have momentum. Everybody's working towards the same goal. They just may be doing so in a different form or a different fashion. And so when you are in a position to segue, you want to make sure that you leave that original post in a way that is self-sustainable. Like, this will probably be what I kind of hone in on Thursday. You want to leave it in a place where it is self-sustainable. You have created infrastructure, processes, ideas, a workflow, everything that you need for that particular portion to be self-sustained. That way, when you take that 20% on to the next phase, when you take that 20% onto the next area that requires your attention, you aren't leaving that past area at a deficit, right? We didn't put all that energy into that area to begin with for us to leave it at a deficit and then crash. And then therefore we may regress when we, try to initiate that 20% to another area. So again, this is Tuesday's video. Fredrina with Trinity Professional Group. The Conscious Leader is available on my website, trinityprofessionalgroup.com. I've also posted a link in my Instagram page. And then, of course, on Friday, I will be going live for the 1-week anniversary of The Conscious Leader. The ebook will be available that night. I'll see if I can post a link during the live as well. I'm really excited. I want you guys to be impacted and grow in the future. And I will see you all for Thursday's video. Again, have a great night. Fredrina with Trinity Professional Group. Bye-bye.